Welcome to ALPB Roundup. I am Ryan, and this is your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs season preview. While Gastonia was probably the furthest team from a finalized roster when we talked about them last, Southern Maryland, they were way ahead of the game for us. They had full roster put out with media pictures and everything. So my life has been pretty easy recently, but it does give us a lot to talk about. The Blue Crabs will have Stan Clyburn at the helm once again. It will be the third season for him as manager of the Blue Crabs, second consecutive. There was actually a several season gap in there early on, but he'll be managing again, and that 2019 campaign was rough. Now, they've had a few rough seasons over in Southern Maryland. They have not had a 500 season since 2011. It's been a decade since they've had a winning record. It feels like it couldn't have been that long. I feel like they have many good players. They have multiple competitive teams. They've had playoff berths since then, but no 500 seasons. So that actually took me by surprise when I was doing a review of their 2019 season. So you can even see here on the win chart, they've got a yearly win percentage and finishing place. The red line is their win percentage. It was their fourth season. They started with 4 500 seasons when they joined the Atlantic League. And then since then, they just have not been able to break 500. It's also worth noting here that after those 4 opening seasons where they were above 500, these last 4 seasons have really been their worst. In fact, without argument, they've been their worst. So really need a change of direction in Southern Maryland. 2019 got off to a rough 7-24 start. You can see here with their win percentage and second half win percentage that, yeah, they did pick it up over the course of the season, but 7 out of their first 31 games they took a loss. They did turn it around. They went 52-65 the rest of the way, including 33-37 in the second half, which wasn't good enough to make the playoffs, but it at least showed something. They had something going in the right direction. Maybe it was Stan Clyburn sort of hitting his rhythm as a manager, but it was definitely not what they were looking for in Southern Maryland. They were one of decidedly the 2 worst teams between them and the Barnstormers in the league. Lancaster and Southern Maryland actually were the only 2 teams that were below average in OPS, ERA, and fielding percentage. So across the board, they were below average. The only 2 teams to do that in the league in 2019. That rise toward the end of the season there was very much on the back of their pitching staff. You can see here there's numerous good graphs that came from the 2019 season. So here's 2019 complete games. The Blue Crabs doubled the former Atlantic League record of 7. They have 14 complete games. The 8 combined complete games between Daryl Thompson and Kyle Simon alone would have been enough to break the Atlantic League record, but the rest of the staff came to the party too, and 14 complete games from the pitching staff helped out a lot, really took some of the load off the bullpen. Unfortunately, the offense did not necessarily rise to the occasion like the pitching staff did. You can see here that they scored 60 less runs than any other offense in the league. It was by far the worst strikeout to walk rate as well. This is kind of mind-blowing. For every walk, the Blue Crabs had a full extra strikeout compared to even the second worst team when it comes to strikeouts to walks. You have to get on base. You have to be manufacturing runs in this league. And they were last in all 3 slash categories. You can see here, compared to the rest of the league, at 245, 300, 372, it's just not going to get done. A 673 OPS across the team. With those impressive and depressing charts out of the way, let's take a look at how Southern Maryland's planning to turn this all around in 2021. Got a lot of players to look at, so we're going to move a little bit quick here so we can keep things moving ahead, but you can't start anywhere else but with Daryl Thompson. Daryl Thompson returns to his 9th season as a Blue Crab. He's arguably at his best in 2019. You can debate, he's had a few seasons that were kind of high-end, but other than those complete games and innings pitched, he actually posted his second best hits per 9 and his best walks per 9 in his Atlantic League career, resulting in his best whip and his second best ERA across his 8 seasons in the Atlantic League. So he seems to be getting better with age here. Looking at this chart, this is actually even more impressive that he was able to have those great rate stats considering just how many innings he threw compared to the rest of the league. And all these stats came despite being only 24th out of all pitchers who threw at least 10 starts in strikeouts per 9. So he wasn't striking out everybody. He wasn't just powering through lineups. He was just working them, pitching smart, getting soft contact, and that's also why he was able to throw so many innings, because he's not going for strikeouts, racking up pitches. He's getting guys out of the box, getting them off the field, keeping them off the base paths, and that's why he's been having success even as he's getting older. As always, look for Daryl Thompson to stay healthy, eat innings, cause havoc on lineups. He's a great addition wherever they want to put him in their rotation. He's going to be great. He's going to mentor younger pitchers. You love having Daryl Thompson there. It's a huge, huge benefit for Southern Maryland. We discussed his projections once before, but of course we like him. We do project a slight step backwards. I mean, it's hard to compete with that 2019 season. It was so good. Looking at some declining rate stats and peripherals from the 2019 season, like kind of on the edge that indicate there could be trouble, but we still project him to have a 3.7 ERA, eat up lots of innings. He's going to be Daryl Thompson. Don't worry about it. Looking to the Bullpen, unless he's starting, I'm not sure what Matt Latos' plan is, but Matt Latos is back with Southern Maryland as well. He had a 1.06 ERA in 2019, only gave up 4.2 hits per 9 innings, a 0.647 whip is unbelievable, and he only struck out 6.9 batters per 9 innings, which again, like Daryl, just means he was able to work lineups and get guys out and get off the field, keep the game moving, which you love to see coming out of your bullpen. Possible concerns, his 3.15 FIP isn't bad, but does indicate that he probably had a lot of help to achieve that 1.06 ERA, and his 164 BABIP is so hard to even comprehend. It's the league average in 2019 was 308. His 164 is like almost half of that. Definitely ridiculous, and it means some luck had to be involved, but it also shows that guys aren't making good contact off of Latos. They can't figure him out. They just cannot connect and get the ball barreled. So that's a good sign, while it's also a little concerning. A number like that has to be a little bit luck and a lot of performance. So keep it in mind when it comes to Latos. His high-end projections are still about as good as 2019. On the whole, we think he'll probably land about a 2.2 ERA. Not sure if he's starting or not, as I said. I should have asked, but didn't. My bad. Dalton Geeky will also be coming out of the pen. If it's not Latos closing, it'll probably be Geeky. At least he indicated preseason that he expects to be closing wherever he goes. He's shoved in the Frontier League in 2019. He's working his way back from a Tommy John. He seems to have a great mindset, a willingness to attack the zone. Look for like a 3-ish ERA from him as he steps up in competition a little bit to the Atlantic League, and nearly a strikeout per inning. He gets guys out. He just causes trouble. Should be good for high leverage situations. Mike Devine is expected to be a starting pitcher for them. He pitched great in the American Association in 2019, and we like him to be even better by several measures in 2021, which is saying something, making the jump to the Atlantic League. Look for over 100 innings from him and a sub-2.5 ERA possible. He's a top-of-rotation guy, 100%. If he's not the number one, depending on how he wants to be used, he'll definitely be a number 2 or number 3 starter that you can rely on. Now let's look at that offense that was such a problem in 2019. On the whole, the offense is improved, but it doesn't feel complete. For example, 6 of the top 9 projected batters are outfielders. A couple guys to note, you got David Harris in the outfield. He crushed in the Can-Am League and the Frontier League since 2017. Now this is a big jump up in competition for him, so it's a very interesting thing. It's going to be something to watch throughout the season. Now that slash he posted in the Can-Am and Frontier League over 3 seasons, I think it was, amounted to a 338, 421, 550 with 38 home runs in 207 games. That was a 130 OPS plus for him in 2019, so well above average in those leagues. We'll see how he comes out in the Atlantic League this year. We like him to do very well, though. We think he'll probably hit above 300 with around 10 home runs and yet another 130 OPS plus. So as we said, we actually see him jumping up a little bit in his performance. He seems to rise to the occasion, and we like that. You love that for the outfield, a consistent everyday player who's going to be a problem in the lineup for you. Harris is also projected to post a 2.7 WAR, with the high end for that being 5.7, which is huge for a 120-game Atlantic League season. Keep an eye on him. A lot of that's going to just depend on how quickly he makes the adjustment to Atlantic League play. He's had a long time to keep working and keep improving, so hopefully he comes in really ready to play right from opening night. But we'll see how everything comes together for him. Southern Maryland also has corner infielder Jovan Rosa. He's 33 years old. We project him to fight off the aging curve a bit longer. He's projected to post a 120 OPS plus with a 4.8 WAR and over a dozen home runs. He could be the team's best bat if he's at his best. We definitely expect him to play nearly every game this season. He's a consistent guy out there. That's great to have, especially as rosters change and things move around. Having just an anchor that can hold down the corner infield for you, that's going to be good. With all that out of the way, though, it's time to hit the predicted wins table for Southern Maryland. We project just above a 500 record in this 120-game season. 80% of projections for Southern Maryland put them between 57 and 66 wins, so cashing in early and hitting the ball consistently will be key to get every win possible from this very solid pitching staff and an offense with some questions. We are hoping to do positional power rankings at some point before the season, but I don't know if we'll be able to get to it. It is worth mentioning, though, that Southern Maryland has the second best projected pitching staff behind Long Island and the 5th best projected offense, which is a step up from last year. However, they are the 4th best in the Northern Division. So of the 4 teams ahead of them projected in offense, 3 of them are those 3 division rivals they have. That brings us to the end of our Blue Crab season preview. I will have a Barnstormer season preview posted shortly, staying in the Northern Division there. But until then, subscribe to ALPB Roundup on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at ALPB_Roundup. Follow us on Twitter at ALPB Roundup. Subscribe to ALPBRoundup.com for all your daily updates as the season gets rolling. Oh, I remembered them all. Pretty happy with myself. Again, I'm Ryan. You'll be hearing from me again shortly with that Barnstormer season preview. Have a good one.